Hello and welcome to Uncommon Taste. This is a podcast where we create and discuss homebrew content for tabletop RPGs.
Say it with me, boys and girls. Chaos, woohoo.
I'm Ian Woodworth. I'm joined by my co-host James Daly, and today we are entering part 4 of the Dragons of the Outer Planes. Today we are going to be covering the dragons in the chaotic good quadrant of the Great Wheel Cosmology D&D.
I'm kind of looking forward to these. I do enjoy the chaotic dragon. I enjoy just chaos in general, largely. Again, there's a bit more of the randomness and freedom, and I enjoy the randomness of the universe, and I think the chaos embraces that as a whole. And a lot of people see chaotic often as negative or randomness as negative, and it's not. It can be either or. And people forget that often there can be a lot of fortune that comes from chaos and randomness too. And so it's a balance.
Yeah, just because things don't happen the way you planned does not mean that the outcome is necessarily worse.
Exactly. Serendipity is absolutely born of chaos. And serendipity is like when you're doing that thing and you have just that unexpected good fortune or that unexpected good event, and it's like, oh my god, it's that day where the random things happen and everything just kind of goes perfectly. That's serendipity, and that is born purely of chaos, which is why I always say you can't recreate serendipity. So if you have that one good day where everything just fires perfectly, no matter what you do, you can't go back and recreate that. You just have to appreciate the gifts the universe gives on occasion.
Right. There are certain steps that you can take to increase the odds that something good will happen, but you can never guarantee that something good will happen.
Absolutely. Go ahead and weight those dice.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and just dive straight in. We got 5 dragons on the docket today, going from Elysium all the way around to Limbo. So let's go ahead and get started up in Elysium, up at neutral good, and working towards chaos. And honestly, I think that this first dragon on the docket is probably going to be the all-star dragon of tonight.
Yeah, this one's probably my favorite.
Yeah, so these are Elysian dragons. And to further exemplify why they are so amazing, I have blocks of the outline for tonight that are just verbatim text grabs from the entry from Dragon Magazine 344 where they show up.
Yeah, these things are beautifully.
Because they are immaculately written.
Yes.
All right, so starting off with the description. The dragon has a wide, squat body and appears obese. Extrusions of adipose-rich flesh push out the dragon's scales, giving it a rough, unkempt look. A spiny frill that doubles the dragon's height runs from the top of its head to near the beginning of its short, thick tail. The stink of fermenting grain hangs thick in the air.
This is totally frat boy dragon.
Yeah. This is the Friar Tuck of dragons.
Yes, absolutely. The first thing when I read this I thought of is, did you watch the D&D movie they released a couple years ago?
Yes.
So the giant fat red dragon in there, I immediately thought of that.
Thimbershad, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but fat off of the beer gut. This is
totally,
beer gut
dragon.
It's
absolutely beer gut dragon, yeah. Beer gut and pizza rolls.
Yeah. So according to the artwork, they have that appearance of like a duckbill dinosaur. They've got that wide, flat mouth.
Okay.
And the picture that they included in the magazine, it's pure poetry. So it is sitting, like literally just sitting on its butt, propped up against a tree with its tail dipped in the river. It has a barrel where one of they're not staves because it's not the ones up the side, but one of the ones on the end, it's popped one of those boards out like it's a can of beer. Nice. And it's sitting there with this half-open barrel of whatever liquor it's got propped on its fat tummy. And it has just strewn about it at least a dozen barrels that are just empty and scattered around, and as many, if not more, bottles. It's just sitting there, passed out on the river, having a grand old time.
Yeah, see, that's great. I love that. Kind of reminds me of, I think it was old Disney, but Pete's Dragon and it kind of was
Yeah,
green, but it had that paunch, that kind of beer gut, and it was very
a little bit.
happy-go-lucky.
Yeah,
Yeah, I kind of get that feel from this too. Yeah, I absolutely love that design for a dragon, just living its best life.
it really is.
It's got some wings and probably some bread, probably a bunch of cakes around, probably like half a haunch of a roast.
So, following up with the next quote, it says, "Jolly and good-natured to an almost ridiculous extreme, Elysian dragons enjoy little more than bacchanalian feasts and lust-fueled festivals. They eat, drink, and enjoy themselves to excess. Considered by other true dragons as irresponsible and overly prolific, Elysian dragons breed at an alarmingly fast rate for dragons, and sire more half-dragons than all other planar dragon kind combined. Elysian dragons receive such criticisms as lighthearted jest and offer slurred rebuttals in response."
Yeah, let the bard roll for seduction. Go for it. Do it. I beg you.
Now, the bard's going to have to roll a charisma save to avoid being seduced.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, no, these things are so much fun. Yeah, this is great. And they're chill with it. They're like, hey,
Oh, yeah.
even when you're trying to trash talk them, they're like, nah, man, we're good. And they're just like, their vicious mockery ain't so vicious, but it's still there. I love these things.
Yeah, these guys are like the dude from The Big Lebowski.
Absolutely, yes.
The dude abides. Yeah, because they view goodness as being inexorably linked with happiness. And they view inebriation and other physical pleasures as the best way to promote happiness.
They're purely Epicurean.
Yes.
That is like the fundamentals of Epicurean philosophy right there.
Yeah. So they're also substantially smaller than most other dragons. An adult Elysian dragon is only large in size category. That means it still fits in a 5-foot square. It is less than 15 feet tall.
Yeah, so it's smaller than an elephant, really, if you think about it. So elephants come in at what, like 8 feet, 10 feet?
Something. I think elephants are considered large creatures in D&D.
Okay, so they'd probably be about the size of an elephant.
They might be huge, but I think they're large.
Okay.
But they also have an ability which allows them to shrink their size category by up to 3 sizes. So if they are a large creature, they can just decide to become a small creature or a tiny creature even.
That's how you get them half dragons.
Exactly. That and the fact that they also have the ability to shape change into any humanoid or fey creature.
Yeah. Yeah, no, these things are fun, and these things are absolutely just a jolt of good, happy whimsy that I totally need today. So I love these things.
Yeah, and to extend it, Elysian dragons don't tend to have hordes because they spend everything on party supplies.
Yes.
Yeah, they have no hoarding mentality. It is just they gather stuff up, and if they have a hoard, it's because they're saving up to throw a real banger of a party.
Yes. I would love to see a campaign where it would probably be an urban campaign or a city campaign, but you have a bunch of the inns and taverns in the area or in the city wanting you to eliminate another tavern just because it's stealing all of their business, and it's run by an Elysian dragon, and everything there's basically free to whoever walks in, and it's just the best food, the best alcohol, the best music, the best games. And so people are flocking to this place because it's just this constant near party going on, and everything's virtually free because the dragon's just living it up. And the party would go there not realizing it's a dragon at first, and then at that point, they would make their choices if they want to try to fight it or tell the other innkeepers to get over it. But I think that would be a good plot point to throw in.
Or alternately, all of these tavern keepers are complaining because it's just a roaming pub crawl. It's a perpetual pub crawl.
Yes.
And this Elysian dragon is going from tavern to tavern to tavern throughout the city, drinking them entirely out of stock, and then proceeding on. And it's getting to the point where they can't restock fast enough. They're like, we need you to get rid of this guy because we can't keep up with business.
Or even, hey, he's coming. We're not ready yet. Slow him down so he'll spend more money here. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. It's like where our next shipment isn't supposed to be in until this afternoon. He's going to get here this morning. Deal with it. You
Yeah.
slow him down until the wagons can get here.
Slow him down, we'll give you 5%.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Because he'll be dropping the coin because he's got it. And that's the whole thing.
exactly.
As
Yeah,
you said, yeah, no, I love that. I love it.
yeah, because he's good. He's neutral good. He's
Yeah.
not going to stiff the tab.
Yeah. Oh, what was the I can never remember the king's name, and I really should. He was the king of what was now Mali. He was an African king. He's considered the richest person who ever lived.
Oh yeah, I can't remember either. But yeah,
And on his pilgrimages to, I'm blanking on everything, on his pilgrimages to Mecca, he would go and he'd bring so much gold because he was so rich that, like, the person that stabled his horses as a gift, he'd give him a pound of gold, a whole freaking pound of gold. Like, this guy went and just wrecked economies just by his gift giving.
Just by
because he was
existing.
so rich. Yeah. Just because he was so generous. I could see one of these Elysian dragons like that.
Yeah. All right. Moving into combat, and the third quote from the magazine says, "If attacked or otherwise pressed into combat, an Elysian dragon always seems offended that someone would attempt to ruin its party. When it finally decides to defend itself, the Elysian dragon attempts to end a combat as quickly and with as little bloodshed as possible. Its breath weapon and array of spell-like abilities help it in this cause. Unbreakably upbeat, an Elysian dragon in combat makes jokes and speaks conversationally with its opponents, usually in an attempt to bring them around to its side, but occasionally merely out of drunkenness."
Yeah, this is totally the dude. This
It
is totally
is.
like, just don't pee on his rug and he'll be fine.
Yeah.
The rug totally brought the room together, man.
Yep. And so Elysian dragons have two breath weapons. The first is a line of sonic damage or thunder damage if you're playing 5e, and the second is a cone of inebriation gas.
Yeah.
So creatures caught in the gas must make a fort save or con save 5e or be sickened for 10 minutes. While sickened, they become upbeat and happy, gaining a +1 bonus on saves versus fear. It has no effect on creatures that are immune to poison, and it sounds suspiciously like a belch.
Yeah, this is absolutely a beer belch. And it's
Yeah.
that, his breath is that potent.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Love it.
it's every stereotypical homeless bum
Yes.
that takes a hit off of the bottle in the brown bag and just turns around and breathes on somebody, and you just watch the plants wilt and die. Yeah,
I'm
it's
thinking Barney from The Simpsons.
a little bit. Yeah. So, and because of the damage types of their breath weapons, Elysian dragons are also immune to poison and thunder damage.
Okay.
And they gain the spell-like abilities Create Food and Water and Tasha's Hideous Laughter at will.
That's vicious.
And Baleful Polymorph, because in 3rd edition, Polymorph had different modes whether you were targeting a friendly or non-friendly target. So Baleful Polymorph, Calm Emotions, and Dominate Monster up to 3 times a day.
Yeah, and I love this. Like, it doesn't want to fight you. It just wants you to join the party. And it's got several different ways of convincing you to join the party. And I really like this with the Bacchanalia as well, because you kind of get lost in that. And so someone coming in wanting to start trouble is going to wind up getting lost in this party. And so that fits really well, too. So, I love this thing. This thing, I want to play with one in real life. It would be a lot of fun. And I don't even drink that much, but I think this thing would just be great fun.
Yeah. And there is a creature that is in, I think it was Monster Manual 2. It may have been the Fiend Folio in 3rd edition, 3.5, called the Bacchae, which was literally a bacchanalia. These were the individuals within the bacchanalia. And so you would have like a group of a dozen of these guys. They were each individually like a CR 1/2 to 1, but you combine them all together and you end up with like a CR 5 or 6.
Okay.
And they were elfin in nature, but I think they were classified as fae.
That would make sense.
And so those are the sorts of people that you would end up having around an Elysian dragon.
You know who's going to be around the Elysian dragon? Cobble.
Yeah, Cobble. Cobble would probably be around.
Yeah. Our,
Yeah.
our our mascot kobold would probably be around Elysium Dragon, but I could totally see a cohort of just festive, happy kobolds running around this thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
And he
yeah,
honestly would probably shift down to join them.
yeah. Cobble is the head chef of one of these Elysian dragons.
Yes.
It's his job to make sure that the buffet stays stocked.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So those are Elysian dragons. Those are the fun ones that we're going to start off with.
I could end right there and be totally happy with this. I'm
Oh
like, okay,
yeah.
no, I'm good.
Yeah. So continuing on, next up are beast dragons. Now these are ones that aren't going to have nearly as much about them. They're from Dragon 321. They're native to the wilderness of the Beastlands. So the Beastlands is that wedge of wilderness between Elysium and Arborea. So it's good starting into chaos.
Yeah. This is like the primal hunting grounds.
Yes, absolutely, it is. And the beast dragons embody that to a great degree because they are the pinnacle predators on a plane that epitomizes survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
Their preferred prey are large dinosaurs, but they will chase down anything that proves to be a challenge.
Oh, the most dangerous game.
They are also highly social and capable of shape changing into other predatory beasts, and they will often interbreed with these other predatory beasts while in their alternate forms.
Now, I recall when we did our initial plane walk years ago at this point, which, I mean, go back and listen to those. That's great. We talked about if you wanted to have a Nessingwary quest, kind of like what you see in WoW,
Yes.
it would absolutely be in this realm. And these beast dragons would probably take the form of Nessingwary, which, would make sense. The other thing I saw, if you want to take this more like a Space Jammer type feel, or something a bit more modern, where they have that polymorph that can change their shape. The concept of quote, quote, the Predator, or I think the alien name is the Kunjari, but, from the Predator movies, these would absolutely be that. They're going to go, they're going to find the most primal, the most difficult game they can find. That's a challenge to them. The big difference here is that these beast dragons will use mostly melee / hand-to-hand weapons. They're not going to use ranged as much or magic as much because they want to test their physical prowess. But if you want to throw a predator on the gaming table, this is the way to do it.
Yeah, I believe that the species that are the predators are called the Yautja.
Yes, to the Yautja, that's what it is, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Villain Support, for
Yes.
that piece of information.
I love villain support.
Yeah. So beast dragons are what white dragons would be if they were smart.
Yes.
They're big, they're imposing, they're muscular. Their scales are those sort of camouflage earth tones, so they go from greens to browns, and they're covered with spines and spikes. They say that they resemble like rocky thorns.
So what I picture is something like a bearded dragon, or even like growing up on the West Coast, we had the blue belly lizards.
Yeah.
And they were like little sand and rock lizards, and they'd run up on the side of your house or whatever. But yeah, just kind of that everyday lizard that you'll find sunning itself. Not so much the ones in the pet store. Those tend to be more brightly colored. But like I said, something like a bearded dragon would probably be close to correct. A little darker, maybe.
They also have the single forward jutting horn on their brow that grows as they get older. And once they hit adulthood, it's actually large enough for them to use basically as a battering ram. And their preferred method of hunting is goring something with their horn and then finishing it off with their claws and teeth if that didn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, you shish kebab and then you shred.
Yeah, pretty much. So they had the innate abilities track and scent, which meant that they had the ability to track prey like a ranger does. And they also had advantage on scent-based checks. So they could smell you out. And they also had proficiency with the 3rd edition skills balance, hide, jump, move silently, and survival, which would translate roughly to acrobatics, stealth, athletics, and nature in 5e.
Okay, yeah. I mean, these all track, again, these are just going to be, again, they're going to be primal supreme hunters. They're absolutely not alpha, but apex predators.
Yes, they are 100% the apex predator of the Beastlands. And because they are social creatures, they're not hunting each other.
Right.
You would end up having these are going to be more like lions than tigers. They're
Yeah.
not going to be solitary. There are going to be packs of them.
Oh, that's terrifying. That's scary.
Yes. Yeah, you have like a great worm with 4 or 5 younger adults and then, a dozen younger dragons just sort of as a family unit.
What's the group noun for dragons? Did we ever figure that out?
I don't know.
We need to look this up.
I mean, I would say that a pride would probably still work.
I almost want to call it a horde. A horde of dragons, like instead of a dragon's horde.
Uh, Potentially.
Let's see if the Googles know.
While you're looking that up.
Yes.
So whenever they are hunting, they will only use their natural weapons on a hunt. They will begin by goring their prey with their big forehead horn and then finish it off with their claws and teeth. Beast dragons will only use their breath weapon for defensive fighting. So if they are being attacked, they will use their breath weapon in defense. Their breath weapon is a cone of combined cold and electricity.
Nice. So I am seeing 3. I'm either seeing a thunder, a flight, or a wing.
Yeah, I think a flight of dragons sounds right.
Yeah, flight of dragons sounds good. So yeah, okay.
And then finally, as their spell-like abilities, because they are very physical, they don't have a whole lot of magical stuff to them. They get the spell-like ability Jump 3 times a day and Regenerate once a day.
That regenerate could be a lot. The jump, depending how it goes, would be, again, when we did our March Madness a few years ago, the mobility wound up being much more important than either one of us thought. So those are both really good skills to have.
Yeah. Right. And that's pretty much it for Beast Dragons. Like I said, there's not a whole lot. It's a 2-page spread in a magazine. So
yeah, the middle planes don't get as much love as some of the others.
Yeah. So next on the list are arboreal dragons from the Olympian Glades of Arborea. They are also from 321, so they don't have as much either. They are very Fey-inspired dragons, and they have the least draconic appearance of all of the true dragons. In appearance, they're very much like the Moonstone or the Emerald dragons. They're very thin and lithe. Their limbs are almost humanoid. They don't have any horns, they don't have any spikes, they don't have any back ridges. They're very smooth-bodied. They've got these gossamer wings that flutter in the breeze.
These are going to look very elegant, almost delicate.
Exactly, yes. They have a color-shifting, scintillating appearance to their scales. They're, like I said, they're very fey. And whether walking or flying, they leave a trail of sparkling mist in their wake.
Okay, these things for me personally would be dangerous where I get the sensory fixations, especially visually. Yeah, I'd get stuck just watching one of these, just staring at it.
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember, there's one of the dragons in Fizbins, the one that has the butterfly wings. And I can't remember which one it is, but I think they were probably inspired by this.
Probably, yeah.
And then, according to the article, despite their frail appearance, they are powerful allies of good, holding holy crusaders in the highest regard, and often being found undertaking missions to aid noble heroes struggling in evil lands.
Nice.
And they are often found enjoying wine and song with elves, fae, and other nature-friendly creatures.
So if the Elysian dragon is the frat boy dragon, this is going to be kind of more the high-class wine connoisseur dragon.
Yeah, this is the sommelier dragon.
Yes.
That's what's in their hoard. Their hoard is wine and cheese. It's a cheese cave.
Ooh, I'm okay with this. Let's go visit. I love me some cheese. I also like with these, again, where we just had the beast dragons, and the beast dragons are very much that physical prowess. These kind of flip the coin, and these are going to be much more your magical weaponry. So while similar, they are still the opposite of each other, which I kind of still embraces that kind of chaos with it. These are going to do much less physically and rely more on spell power for offense and defense as well.
Yeah, a bit. So because they are chaotic good, because Arborea is the plane of chaotic good, they are thoroughly unpredictable when it comes to combat stuff. They will regularly bounce between using spell-like abilities, their breath weapon, and their natural weapons. And their breath weapon is a cone of thorns.
Nice.
That deals piercing damage.
I love it.
So it's going to be magical because it's 3rd edition, and 3rd edition dragons' breath weapons were considered magical, but it's magical piercing, which doesn't happen very often.
No.
And I like it.
Yes.
So they have the spell-like abilities Telekinesis and Baleful Polymorph 3 times a day, and Otto's Irresistible Dance and Polymorph any object once a day.
So I read this, and the absolute first thing I thought of, because we talk about how they help, particularly heroes that are fighting in more chaotic and evil planes, having like a horde of zombies. You cast thorns, you make the ground thorny, you make it difficult terrain. And in this case, Otto's Irresistible Dance just happens to be a conga line through the thorns.
Yeah, possibly.
That thought made me giggle.
Yeah.
I think Irresistible Dance is a single target.
Well, that and 1, I'm pretty sure that damage breaks the effect. And 2, I'm pretty sure, at least in 3rd edition, because they're undead, they're immune to charm, which Otto's Irresistible Dance is a charm effect.
Is it a charm?
Yeah. Because it's a mind affecting effect.
Okay. But yeah, I just wanted to see a bunch of zombies or undead just having to conga line through.
It's a wonderful mental image. I love it.
Dun, 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 dun. Taking all the damage.
Now, I would see them using Otto's Irresistible Dance on the Necromancer and turning it into a thriller music video situation.
Yes, I love that too. That'd be great.
Because all of the zombies under his control would start dancing mirroring his actions. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. No, I love that. That works. We have a winner.
All right. And if they find themselves at a disadvantage in combat, they will use Baleful Polymorph on their foes to allow them to escape. So they are not above turning you into a bunny so that they can fly away.
Oh, the buns.
And they also are a dragon that has an alternate form, which allows them to assume the shape of any medium or smaller animal, fey, or humanoid 3 times a day.
Nice, fun. Not on the level of the Elysium dragon, but still, these are good. Yeah.
Yeah. And actually, I think I was thinking of these guys whenever I mentioned that with the Elysium dragon, because I don't see in my notes where I actually wrote down that they have an alternate form. I think that they can just shrink themselves, which means that they have enough game to make you get jiggy with an actual dragon.
Do you know what? No king shaming.
I'm going to kink ass cow, though.
Well, I mean, we'll politely back away from this one. I'm not saying there's whole brands of items, but there's whole brands of items.
Yeah. Yes, but they're good dragons.
Fair. Which means, again, we're going to politely just back up and away.
And if you get that reference, good for you. And if you don't get that reference, then you're not old enough. Or you're too old.
If you don't get that Google is not your friend. Or it might be, I don't know.
You're either not old enough or too old to get that reference.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So that's the end of the Arboreal Dragons. There, again, not a whole lot to them. The next two, the last two on the list, are both from the Draconomicon. So they've got a little more right up to them. The next ones are the Battle Dragons. So Battle Dragons are native to the heroic domains of Ysgard. And Ysgard is where, in the older Planescape editions, that's where the Norse pantheon lived. And this is where Ragnarok was going to be fought. And so there was constant battle going on. This is the diametrically opposed plane to Acheron, where the goblinoids and the orcs are fighting each other on the metal cubes. So there's a lot of parallels. It's just the alternate side of that. It's less the regimented grit and drudgery of battle and more the valorous, glamorous, heroic side of battle. This is the plane that epitomizes all of these stereotypes of Norse Viking culture.
Of the two, I think I prefer Acheron of all things, which sounds kind of weird, but I like that regimented, formal. It just, that makes my organized brain a little happier. But no, I totally get that.
Who are you and what have you done with Chaos Woohoo James?
Oh, I enjoy Chaos Woohoo, but again, there are points of order in Chaos as well, which is part of it.
So So battle dragons are some of the only dragons that are noted as serving as steeds, as in dragons that people ride. With the other notable example being the red dragons that serve the Gith Zerai. And some cities or knightly orders have entered into sort of mutual protection agreements with battle dragons or with groups of battle dragons cemented by generations of dragon riders.
Yeah, if you want to look at like your Game of Thrones dragons, these are going to kind of fit that role really well.
Yeah,
I,
this is almost more like dragon riders of Pern level.
yeah, that's what I was
Dragons.
thinking as well. That and you also have the for the life of me in Dragonlance, you have a couple Dragon
Yeah,
Mountain orders. It's not Knights of the Rose. I know Sky was a
is it like
dragon,
the
and
Black Lance? Maybe.
maybe yeah, it's been
I
forever. Yeah,
I've not read any of the Dragonlance books. I just know what I gleaned from all of the conversation when the Dragonlance product dropped.
yeah.
But the Dragonlance product dropped at the point when I had stopped buying 5e books
Fair.
because I didn't want
That's
to
the
give
last
Hasbro
one.
any more of my money.
Yeah, that was the last one I've purchased. But I love Dragonlance. I do love the novels, so they were fun. I've read them years and years ago.
So, battle dragons are known for being notorious optimists, able to, quote, find the silver lining in any cloud. And the optimism that they have tends to be contagious, so they inspire others around them to acts of bravery and valor in battle simply by existing.
I mean, that's a good thing and a bad thing both. Again, you can be over enthused beyond what's healthy for you. Now, again, if you're in Valhalla, if you're fighting Ragnarok, you get the free res, which is great, but you can be pushed beyond your limits, and that might be something your party has to contend with is, they're wanting to take that long rest, and now they have to roll possibly a will save because this dragon's there pushing everyone on to their absolute maximum. Might be something a DM skew you might want to take at times just to add some complexity to the table.
Yeah. So in their appearance, they are a very stereotypical Western European dragon, with the four legs and the wings. And if you look at the Welsh flag, it's that silhouette, basically.
Yeah.
But they have these scales they're sort of a dull brown whenever they're just hanging around, being chummy. But the instant that they take off and start flying around, they have that beam of sunlight that comes from somewhere in that very cinematic way. And they just start to gleam in this golden light. And that's the aura that they exude. And so being battle dragons and being part of this plane that is constantly fighting for the glory of fighting, they fight for the joy of fighting. Imagine that. So all young and older battle dragons' natural weapons, so their claws and their teeth and their tail swipes and all of that, are considered magical for purposes of overcoming resistances. Now, here are their abilities. They have Battle Fury, which is a barbarian's rage.
That's ouch.
Yeah. So, and if you were to extrapolate this out from 3rd edition to 5th edition, this is the Berserker's Berserk ability, except that they don't get exhaustion when they're done.
Yeah.
Because they're a dragon.
Right.
And they also have the ability Inspire Courage, which functions in 5th edition like a paladin aura, but in 3.5, it was literally the bard ability Inspire Courage.
Ooh.
So whenever they take their turn and they speak the inspiring words, and it gave a bonus to all of the allies that could hear them. So it gives them a bonus on attack rolls, weapon damage rolls, and saving throws against charm and fear.
That's nothing to sneeze at all.
Yeah. And they have 2 separate breath weapons. They have a cone of sonic damage or thunder damage for 5e, and a cone of fear gas.
Impressive. I still prefer the Elysium dragon.
Well, yeah. You would.
Yes.
So because they are a dragon, they have frightful presence because that's a default dragon thing. And if you get hit with the fear gas, you have to make a will save or a wisdom save or become shaken, which was the first stage of being afraid.
Yeah.
If you were already shaken from another ability, you become frightened instead. So the way that they worked in third edition, there were 3 stages. There was shaken, frightened, and panicked.
Okay.
Shaken just gives you the penalties. So -2 penalty on all attack rolls, ability checks, skill checks, and saving throws. Frightened gives you that, and it makes you try to get away from the source of your fear by the most reasonable means possible. So you are going to try and get away. You can still use all of your skills and abilities to help you. So like you can use your abilities to turn invisible or to give yourself expeditious retreat or jump to improve your movement, or give yourself haste so that you can move faster. And, at that point, frightened, you could satisfy the effects of frightened by ducking into cover and breaking line of sight.
Yeah.
Panicked was no. Yeah. If you became panicked, you dropped whatever you held in your hands. You used your full turn to move as far away as you physically can from the source of your panic. You cannot use any spells. You cannot use any abilities. All you can do is run.
You just purely rabbit. Now, again, there was one fear effect too, and I forget which one it was. It would actually make you freeze in place as well. And that one's, forget which one that was.
I don't recall.
Yeah, I may be thinking of Warhammer at that point too.
Yeah, there might be like specific effects that, as caveats in the effect, say that you freeze in place rather than run.
Possibly, yeah. But no, panicked where you drop everything and nope out. So, I mean, you take your move action, you take your action as dash. If you have any kind of bonus action to move, you use that. So, yeah, you are leaving as quick as you can.
Yeah, well, in third edition, you had your major action, your minor action, your interaction, and your movement action.
Yeah.
And you can always trade down, but you can't trade up.
Up.
So the hierarchy is major action, minor action, movement action, interaction.
Yeah.
So your major action and your minor action both get traded down into movement action, and you do 3 movement actions, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're booking it.
Nope. I was running. You do your best Forrest Gump impression.
Pretty much. All right. And then as the final effects, the spell-like abilities that it gets are Aid and Protection from Evil 3 times a day, and Hero's Feast and Shield Other once a day.
Nice. I like those. Again, these would be fun dragons on a table. You could do a lot with these, both for and against, because where they are neutral, they're good, but you could absolutely have, like, if your opponent, or even if your BBEG is not like pure chaotic evil, if you're not fighting like a Vecna or something, but you're fighting a tyrant or whatever, and they think they're doing good, or you just have like a War Amongst Nations or whatever, and they have one of these dragons with them, this absolutely can be a huge challenge to go up against on the table.
And now into the last dragon on our list today. Last up, we've got Chaos Dragons.
Woohoo!
Yeah, Chaos Dragons are native to the ever-changing chaos of Limbo. And
Now, is Limbo the one with the howling winds?
No, that's Pandemonium.
Okay, yeah.
They are described as being, quote, a whirling cyclone of barely controlled power.
I like them.
So they all have the same general physical traits. So they got 4 limbs, the wings, the long neck, a bunch of sharp teeth, a tail with sort of a jagged edge on it that they can use to whip around. But outside of that, there is no uniform appearance between Chaos Dragons.
As it should be.
To the point where some people claim that they just change their appearance over time.
Possible, that would make sense. I like it.
So as a general rule, Chaos Dragons seek to tear down structured societies and civilizations. That is their whole thing, is there's organization there, it needs to not be there.
Okay.
Those that skew towards good might seek out positive modes of change, but those who skew towards evil prefer the simplicity of violence and murder.
So these go from, I almost want to say punk, but not quite punk, to just pure anarchy as far as civilization and change go. These could take a lot of different things, because again, as this says, while they do try to, quote, quote, break down structure and society civilization, they would probably, on the more good side, push more for that back to nature feel and just kind of spreading things out versus urban development versus burn it all to the ground.
Yeah, pretty much.
And everywhere in between.
Yeah. So apparently for some time, the Githyanki attempted to form partnerships with the Chaos Dragons in the same way that the Githzerai used Red Dragons. But it turned out to be a disastrous idea.
Fair.
Because the Githyanki are lawful, they're ordered, they're the opposite of chaos. They exist in limbo in a way that their very will exerts order on pockets of the chaos.
Yeah. These dragons, you have to appreciate them as a force of nature, much like one would appreciate a thunderstorm or anything like that. They are chaos. And so you can try to contain it. You could probably contain it for a small amount of time, but only for a small amount of time. They exist beautifully within their own not realm, but within their own idiom, and they just kind of they are a fundamental force of nature, and you have to appreciate that from afar.
Yeah, and the Draconomicon says that Chaos Dragons were just too unpredictable and disloyal by nature.
Fair.
For them to work with the Githyanki in this way. When it comes to combat, Chaos Dragons prefer to open up with their breath weapons, and then they wade in and they use their natural weapons and spell-like abilities. They have 2 breath weapons. The first one is a line of energy that you have to roll to see what kind of energy it's going to be.
I love that. Just spin the wheel.
Or a cone of confusion gas.
Also very fun.
So when the dragon goes to breathe out their line of energy, there's a 20% chance of it being either acid, cold, electricity, fire, or sonic. So acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder.
I would totally have like one of those twister wheels and just kind of flick it.
Yeah. And then with the confusion gas, they have to make a will save or wisdom save. And if they fail, they become confused for 1d6 plus the age category rounds. So
what was the wisdom save for that confusion? Was it just standard or was it something?
It varies based on the age of the dragon.
Dragon, okay, yeah.
So the older the dragon is, the higher the save DC is.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it's 3rd edition saves, so they get to really high numbers. Like I think it caps out at like 44.
Yeah.
For a great worm. But yeah, so whenever you are confused, you have to, at the start of your turn, roll a d100 to see what you are going to do that turn. And it functions in a very similar way to how the mechanic for the Gibbering Mouther does in 5e, if you have a copy of the Monster Manual and you want to look at that. So on a 1 to 10, you attack the source of your confusion. So you just go up and you attack the dragon.
Okay.
Full on. That's all you do. You focus on attacking the dragon. And if you can't attack the dragon, you get as close to attacking the dragon as you can.
Good or ill, you're going to punch it.
Yep. On an 11 to 20, you get to act normally.
That's your best hope.
That is your best hope. On a 21 to 50, you do nothing but babble incoherently.
Fair.
On a 51 to 70, you flee from this source of your confusion at top possible speed. So basically, you become panicked for a round.
Okay. Without dropping your stuff, but...
And then from 71 to 100, you attack the nearest creature.
Friend or foe.
Doesn't matter what it is. They did specify, though, that if you are somebody who has a familiar, the familiar is considered an extension of you, so you do not attack your familiar.
Now, at least there's that. You don't want to punch your
There is at least that. Yeah. So they also have access to a bunch of spell-like abilities. The ones that they get 3 times a day are Entropic Shield, Protection from Law, and Chaos Hammer.
That's a great name for a spell. That sounds great.
I'm going to be going into a couple of these because they are 3rd edition spells that haven't made it forward when I get done here. And then once per day, they get Cloak of Chaos, Dispel Law, Mind Fog, Mislead, and Word of Chaos.
Those all sound wonderful.
So starting off, Chaos Hammer. It affects a 20-foot radius within 120 feet, and it deals a maximum of 5d8 chaos damage.
Ooh, nice.
So it's 1d8 per 2 caster levels, so it'd be 1d8 per 2 hit dice on this dragon, which means it maxes out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Or 1d6 per caster level versus Lawful Outsiders,
Ooh.
Which Outsiders, as a classification in 3rd edition, Outsiders are anyone whose material form is made from the stuff of a plane that is not the material plane.
Yes.
So anything that is native to anywhere but the material plane.
Nice.
And it maxes out at 10d6.
That's Warhammer dice right there.
Yeah. And it also slows them for 1d6 rounds as the slow spell.
Ooh.
And they take half damage and no slow on a successful will save. On neutral creatures, it deals half damage, quarter damage on save, no slow.
Okay.
And it has no effect at all on chaotic creatures.
Chaos, woohoo.
Next, Cloak of Chaos. It gives a +4 AC and +4 bonus to saving throws.
Okay.
Not specifically against law. This is flat against everything.
I like it. That is like that's a fairly beefed up shield spell.
Yeah.
Or mage armor.
And they also gain spell resistance 25 versus lawful spells or spells cast by lawful creatures.
I miss spell resistance as a mechanic. I wish they would bring that back.
Additionally, the cloak blocks all attempts to charm or dominate the cloaked creature.
Okay.
And any lawful creatures who attack the cloaked creature become confused for 1 round.
Nice.
Will save negates.
I like it. I want one.
And then the last one is Word of Chaos. You remember Holy Word from the Oceanus Dragon?
Yeah, the super OP'd one that just completely wrecks your day.
Yeah, this is that.
Yeah.
But for
I
chaos.
love it. Woohoo. I love it.
Holy Word is the good version. Word of Chaos is the chaos version. It will deafen you if you're at the same level, stun you and deafen you if you are less than 5 levels below. Deafen, stun, or confuse you if you are between 5 and 9 levels below. And if you are 10 or more levels below, you just die.
Bye-bye.
Or it can banish you the same way that Holy Word can.
Nice. Yeah, so one of these dragons, these are something, again, you don't keep, you appreciate it from afar. At most, you try to lead this into your enemy's camp area, whatever. But yeah, no, one of these things aren't something you contain. You don't try to corral them or domesticate them like the Get Yankee tried. At best / worst, you appreciate them as a force of nature and you try to guide them to your enemy's fields or camps and just let them do their thing and back away slowly.
Yeah, I can see almost like a heist objective with these guys. Like, you need to get into somewhere to get an item, to get a MacGuffin for your story, and you're going to have to go through a Chaos Dragon's territory to do it.
I could see that. I could see like a mage making some sort of like a temporal bubble or like a thing, and just they've teleported them somewhere in the middle of the city, in the middle of the town, just outside the village, whatever. And now this thing is there, and you have to get rid of it or somehow get it away again. I don't know how Banish would work on these. I mean, if you could get close enough in Banish, I guess it would work because it's not a charm or an effect. That would probably be your best bet if you could drop it. If you could get close enough to drop it.
Yeah, because I think if I were to try and use this in a campaign, this would definitely be something that the big bad is going to open a gate and pull one through from Limbo into the city.
Yeah.
And so your whole thing is you trying to banish it back to Limbo.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, I mean, going toe-to-toe with this thing, you're going to get Shrek'd so hard.
Pretty much.
Get out of my swamp.
All right. I think that pretty well does it for tonight. I think we've got one more episode worth of stuff to cover. Because we've got the 3rd edition Planescape-ish dragon that I haven't gotten to yet, which is the Concordant Dragon, which is from the Outlands, which is where Sigil is. We got that one. We've got Astral Dragons and Ethereal Dragons and Sun and Moon Dragons from Spelljammer. And I think that's about it. I'm sure that there are others that exist in I know that there's like a dozen more various varieties of gem dragons that came out in 2nd edition that I just can't find the text for. And we have to draw a line somewhere.
Yeah.
So I think one more episode and that'll be it for the dragons for us.
I think we have more than fulfilled Nora's request for the dragon episode, which I love this. This has been a lot of fun. I love doing the dag runs.
Absolutely, yeah. And now she has requested another biome episode. So we're going to have to figure out which biome we're going to do.
Oh, did she say which biome or just a biome episode?
She asked if we were going to do another biome episode.
Okay.
And then she listed off a couple, and I'm like, we've already done that one. Because for whatever reason, she refuses to get past like episode 25 in the playlist. She always ends up cycling back around to the first episode. But anyway.
Now, I think something would be fun to do too, and it'll take a bit of research on both of our parts, but dealing with some of the aberrations and the outsiders, I think could be a lot of fun. And that might be something we want to explore. Yeah.
Okay. That's a conversation for us to have offline.
Oh, yeah.
Unless any of our listeners have suggestions. So
yeah, absolutely.
So if you have any comments, suggestions, or ideas, please send us an email, undercommontaste@gmail.com, or come join us on our Discord. You can find a link to the Discord on our website, undercommontaste.com. You can also find links there to our Patreon, patreon.com/undercommontaste, and our itch store, undercommontaste.itch.io. Speaking of itch, as of right now, the Solo But Not Alone bundle is still ongoing. Last time I checked, they still haven't hit their $10,000 goal yet. So go and pick up the bundle and help support Take This, which is a mental health charity. Great charity, great people to work with. Go and pick up your games.
Yes. If this is your first time, we're very happy you found us. If you're a longtime listener, we're happy you've listened to us as well. You can find our other episodes on your podcatcher of choice. Just search Under Common Taste. And maybe we've missed a realm or a biome that's a glaring omission. Hey, you guys should cover this. Absolutely. Go back, listen, see what we may have missed. Send us some suggestions. We'd love to hear from you. As always, give us a like and a comment. This helps increase our visibility.
Stay safe, everyone, and we will see you again in 2 weeks.
Happy gaming.
Thanks for joining us for another episode of Under Common Taste. Our theme song is Massacre Anne, written and performed by Mary Kroll and used with permission. You can find Mary online at marykroll.bandcamp.com or on Patreon at patreon.com/Dr. Mary C. Kroll. Our logo is by David Sutherland. You can find more of David's work on deviantart.com/David Sutherland or on instagram.com/Willex_73. We'll be back in 2 weeks, so stay safe, and we'll see you then.